tell like this, man. Today is just girls, man. Give it up, man. Girls, I'm just hanging out with the girls today, man. But before I start, I want you to take a look at this clip.
An age-old debate about Africa is whether or not the continent is too dependent on foreign aid. A more recent debate looks at female dependency on something a little bit more interesting.
Ugh, I spent 5 hours at customs today.
Did your stuff arrive from Boston?
Yeah, but they're stuck at the port. 3 months they've been sitting there, and now all of a sudden customs has to do inspections. It's so frustrating.
Same thing happened to me. My car, my furniture, all stuck at customs for months.
I don't care about my car, my furniture. I just want my vibrator.
Your vibrator? You shipped a vibrator?
Yeah, I wouldn't have shipped it if I had known that you can't get one in Togo, Benin, Ghana, anywhere in West Africa for that matter. Now I'm going through a serious dry spell and I need it.
Ngozi works for a donor agency. Ngozi, why don't you get USA to donate vibrators? That's what the world really needs.
I love this, and the whole history behind this is what we're going to get into. I'm going to invite the writer, the director, the originator of this series. Yes, she's from Ghana. And her name is, put your hands together, show some love for Nicole Amatefio. There we go, there we go, there we go. Oh, you got it. Whoa.
Where does this come from?
I just figured
okay.
it has. We need a mark that's different.
All right.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm
Good
fine. I'm
to
happy
see
to
you.
be here. I can't believe I'm here on this
You are.
couch.
Show us some love, man.
I've been watching your show for years.
You
I really
have?
cannot believe.
Really?
I really can't believe.
Really? Well, I'm glad you're here, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're the kind of people that we celebrate on this show.
Okay.
Because I love what you have done.
Thank you.
And it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. Show us, am I kidding, man? Oh, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And I was reading up on it, you know, and one of the things that fascinated me from what I've learned so far, and I'll have you tell me, is that you didn't want to go through initially the networks and give them the control. You wanted to create something that you wanted without any.
Yeah.
Was that the story?
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of using a platform like YouTube. I mean, you have all creative control. So why not go that route? Why not tell your story just the way you want to tell it? So yeah, I was excited to go that route, and I've loved it. I mean, it's real-time conversation. Somebody watches and is able to comment right there and tweet about it and Facebook about it, Instagram, everything. So I love the online conversation. So yeah, I went that route. The ultimate goal is, you know, you always do want your content on television, but the internet is definitely the way to go, and is definitely the future, even when it comes to television.
So a network approaches you and makes you an offer that financially you can't refuse.
Yeah.
But they want some controls.
You know, so far all the networks that have come to pitch to us about having our show on their platform, they've said, no.
Do what you want?
Do what we want.
Wow.
Do what we want.
Wow.
I think we've showed that, you know, as long as we do a story that's fresh and new, people will respond. So right now they're saying do what you want.
Really?
Hopefully they'll stick to that.
Put it in the contract. So how many networks have approached you? A lot.
A lot. I mean, I remember we put the first episode up on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I went to bed and I woke up Monday morning to an email from BET Los Angeles. So that was very exciting. But yeah, since then, networks, whether they're in France, whether they're in London, whether they're in Ghana, whether they're, you name it, they've approached us.
Wow.
So it's exciting.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Give me more about your background. Did you do?
Film is not my background. I never knew that this was the path that I would go on. Even though there's a lot of creatives in my family, so maybe I should have known. But no, I mean, I was in development. For me, I love development. I always thought about, you know, development issues are very important to me. But what I noticed through that was that everyone kept talking about Africa's poverty, Africa's poverty, Africa's poverty. And I think you can talk about Africa's development and still be talking about innovation and very exciting things. And even though the rhetoric Africa Rising might be overdone, but still I'd rather see the Africa Rising story than the Dark Continent story. So more and more I just kept thinking about an African city. Let's let's change that story. Let it be a different story about the continent of Africa, a different story about African women. Let's put that out there. Let's bulldoze that single story.
Show some love, man. It is really true, because it is not there's anything called the typical African woman syndrome, you know, and I like it that it's not the poverty and the AIDS and, you know, malnutrition, but another angle that is more celebrating, you know. Go ahead.
It's another angle, and what I appreciate about it is, at first I kept thinking about the single story of Africa that the West has given us. But now, since the show has been released, I've been thinking more and more about the African story that we as Africans put on ourselves. Because there are some people who say, oh, but these women, they're not Ghanaian enough. They're not this, they're not. No, they are Ghanaian. They're just a different story of the Ghanaian woman, a different type of Ghanaian woman. That's all.
It's amazing you said that, because that was going to be my next question, whether you've encountered that kind of reaction.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly have. First of all, there's a lot of people who applaud it. A lot of people who say, this is, a lot of Ghanaian women who stop me in the restaurants and say, thank you. I'm seeing myself now on screen. I felt marginalized before, but now I'm seeing, through your show, I'm seeing myself on screen, so thank you. But yeah, there are other people who say, oh no, but the girls aren't Ghanaian enough. But that's a conversation to have. But it's interesting that people are saying that about my show, because people will say that about me a lot. You know, I meet somebody, I say I'm Ghanaian, and they go, and I say I'm an Amatefio, you know, and then they start speaking Ga, and then I just put my head down.
We said it.
And then I start speaking my broken tree, and they're like, but you got a name and you're just speaking your broken tree. And, you know,
do you feel you have some kind of identity crisis? Do you think you're Ghanaian, or you feel Ghanaian, but you also think American?
You know, I will say, when I introduce myself, I say I'm Ghanaian. That's it. I was born here. My parents moved the whole family to the United States via the United Kingdom, you know, when I was a baby. But I've always felt a draw back to my home, you know. So summers, Christmas, we were back here, and I've just always felt a draw back here. This is my ancestry. You know, yeah, so for what, I have this American New York accent or whatever. Don't let that fool you. I feel I'm Ghanaian. And I don't find it as to be an identity crisis anymore. It's more, I find it to be identity realization. This is who I am. I'm Ghanaian.
So you're back, or you still?
I am back.
You're back.
I'm here to stay. Never gonna leave.
The returning comes home, man.
I will die here. I will be here, buried here, everything. Yes, no, I'm here.
But it's quite interesting, that switch to television from the development background. But this is development in another way, you know, because you are throwing more light on African development, but in a
funny way.
In a very funny, entertaining way.
Yeah. You know, so the clip with Sade and her toy at customs, you know, that's a conversation about what it's like to deal with customs and the whole development aspect of that, but I feel like we've done it in a comedic way. There are many scenes that I feel like we've touched upon an important issue, but we've touched upon it in a comedic way. So that's important to me. Though every episode, even in season 2, what we're working on now, at least writing it right now, there's different scenes that deal with development topics, but we've dealt with it in a way that you've never seen before.
Really?
Yes.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So being the returnee as you are, what was your initial, should I say, did you go through a culture shock?
No, I've always been coming back.
Okay,
right?
so
And I've always had these interesting Amatefio men who've always come to visit their brother who's in New York, you know? So it wasn't so much of a cultural shock, you know? But yeah, there's things that I deal with, but I've got to remember I'm home, and that's it. And anything that I want to see, any change, because Ghanaians, we complain a lot, but any change that you want to see, be part of the solution. You know, so anything I complain about, which I'm not actually doing something about, then
like what?
So this whole lights off thing. Even though actually, what I've realized about this whole lights off thing is now I actually feel like I spend some quality time with some family members or some of my girlfriends. Because I know tonight
My
lights is off. I'm calling Mame to go have dinner, you know? What I've liked about that is actually I'm now finding time to meet with people and have quality time. Otherwise, I'll just, you know, be home. And but no, I mean, the light-off issue, I think it's been an issue that Ghanaians, we've been facing for decades upon decades. But what are we as individual citizens doing about it? What can we do about it? That's what I want to learn more instead of just complaining all the time, being on Facebook and Twitter, my light's off. I want to see how I can be part of the solution.
It's very interesting. Cheers, what's allowed that? Because there's a very strange disconnect, you know, that we complain about the problem, but we don't connect to realize that we are the problem, or a major part of it.
Yeah, we need to be part of the solution. I wanted a new story of the African continent, so I did a web series. I had no background in TV, no background in writing for TV, but I just did something. So just do something. Just do something.
Do something. So you write the...
Yes. You know how it is when you're an entrepreneur and when you're business, you do everything to start. So yes, I produced it, I created it, I wrote it, I co-directed it. But yeah, it was just very important for me to get this done, have no excuses. The first season, I financed it. I said, you know, constantly you say you don't have enough money to realize your dream, but no, you find the money, raise the money, work for that money. And so
whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes,
get
make
it out there, get the product out there.
Make it happen.
How long did it take?
Oh, goodness. Well, the idea has been in my mind for a while, for a few years. Once I found my team, my production team, once we did the casting, we shot for just about a month. And yeah, so.
How do you put a crew together coming back? Did you know people already, or these are people that recommended people?
This is why I feel like the show was really meant to be, and I actually had little to do with it, because everything just came together. I literally met Third Channel Direct, who's the production company behind the show, and you know what? It was just a click. I just knew this was going to work. The actresses, you know, when Mami Abuafo walked in, she was the first actress to audition for the show, and immediately I saw her and I said, yes, this is it. I mean, everything just came together. Locations, people like, oh, use my place, use my restaurant, use my... And we wanted to show the different side of Ghana, so we wanted to show these very modernized, upscale establishments in this country. So yeah, everyone was just so helpful. So everything just came together at the right time. And
so the ladies auditioned, or they were your friends that you knew already?
They auditioned. One of them I knew, two of them I knew from high school. I went to high school in the United States, so one of them I met there. And then I actually did a stint of 1 year back here in Ghana and so yeah, I met another one of the actresses. But yeah, they auditioned.
Really?
They auditioned, yeah.
And the key thing that you must be a returnee?
Well, for me, what's important is if the character calls for something, I want as much as possible to find an actor that meets that. It's important to me.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, when I see there's a South African actress being played by an African American woman, I'm like, you know, when there's a story that calls for a Nigerian woman, then it's being played by a British woman, I'm just like, okay, you know. So for me, it was really important that, you know, for Mami Abuafo's character, her character is a Ghanaian American. Yeah. Mami Abuafo is Ghanaian American, so I love that synergy. I think it works well for. I think it works well for the actors too. I think they really enjoyed seeing a casting call that was calling for them. You know, normally I want to say you don't find many casting calls that call for Ghanaian American. So I think it was
How many
also
auditions?
special. Oh my, the numbers. I would say we did 2 auditions. One in New York. Which I want to say probably nearly 100 people showed up.
Really? In New York?
Yeah, it would be African women or African American women who showed up. It was about 100. And then here it was a bit smaller. No one really knew us, you know. They're like, who's this Nicole Amatefio trying to do some story? So I don't really remember.
So you wrote it to be shot in Ghana?
Oh, yeah. It was very important to me that
what were you
shot
going
in
to do,
Ghana.
fly them here? Or?
Well, 2 of the actresses are based here, and then 3 of them are based in the United States. So yeah, we had them swim. We had them swim. No, we flew them here.
Wow.
We flew them here.
Wow.
So yeah, once again, we just made it happen. Let's make it happen.
You did.
It would be nice if we had some airline sponsors, if any airline sponsors are listening. But yeah.
That is fantastic. What is one of your very, very favorite scenes? I want you to set it up so we watch it, and then when we come back, we'll meet some of the other.
Okay. Well, it was certainly the vibrator scene and customs. That to me is all-time favorite. But then, you know, episode 7, condom etiquette. You know, every single one of those stories in that episode are true. People don't tend to believe it. So condom etiquette episode is one of my favorites. Sometimes actually YouTube puts that episode under education.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it was a funny way to talk about the importance of condom use, you know? But yeah, I think condom etiquette, I think is hilarious.
So we'll take a quick second to look at this clip, condom etiquette. Take a look at this.
I did not know, however, that he has a thing for leaving used condoms around my custom-designed apartment.
Another. Do you have condoms?
Really nervous.
No.
Okay, I have some.
Okay.
Makina was shocked how easy that had been. She felt relieved.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Just a second. Do you have any scissors? A knife?
And then she wasn't.
He's something else. Jesus.
What are you doing?
Praying? Don't you pray before you go to bed?
No. We just had sex in the bed you share with your wife, and you want to pray?
And after shot.
Michael!
What?
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You just flew a dirty condom into the air.
And?
And it's now on my back from Eleanor's closet.
So?
So? You've been throwing dirty condoms everywhere in my house.
What do you mean?
Everywhere except the trash can.
So?
So what? Are you serious?
Yeah. It's not dirty. It's been in you.
Michael, it's over.
Now that was the condom etiquette. Oh, I'm loving it. Whoa. Okay, Nicole. So now I know you came with some people from the cast.
Yes.
2 of them actually.
Yes.
We're going to meet one now.
Okay.
So I'll have you introduce.
Okay.
That the next person.
Yes. Do I get to do the slap pound with her, or
Yeah.
is that you?
I'll do it. Then
You'll do it.
Yeah,
Okay,
then you can try with her
right.
too. I like it. The slap pound.
So yes, welcome Mame Ajay, who plays Zainab on An African City.
Mame Ajay, please sit up. Show some love for Zainab. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. There's my hug. All right.
And we'll hug.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mami, welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow. So tell me your story, how you got connected with African City.
So Nicole and I both went to the same school in Ghana. I
Oh,
think
really?
Nicole was there for a year. I was there for about 9 years. And she sent me a message on Facebook, actually.
Well, fast forward
15 years later. 15. We actually didn't keep in touch after we
Really?
left school. Yeah, we didn't keep in touch. And so she sent me a message on Facebook, and she was like, "Do you act?" And I was like, no. Because my background is actually in finance. Before I moved to Ghana,
Wow.
I was a finance person.
Wow.
But she really felt like, you know, I could really play this role. So I met with her, we, you know, read the script, and I was like, I would love to be a part of this. And
Wow.
here
I told her
am.
the camera would love her.
She did. She did.
Well,
She
what,
did.
so you remember, when you're writing it, you remembered her from 15 years?
When I returned, well, Facebook helps people
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
stay
Yeah.
globally.
Yeah.
So there was Facebook. I saw beautiful photos of her, and then when we would bump into each other here
Once in a
Accra,
while, yeah.
And then finally I was like, the camera will love you. I need you in my show. That's it. I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want to hear no. I'm closing my ears. It's done.
Yeah.
So you got the mail, and what did you feel? You were ready?
No.
at all.
I was actually running away from her for a couple of weeks. I was like, oh, Nicole's calling. But finally, when I met with her, I mean, she was so, like, her conviction that I could do this was so strong. It just made me
And you
believe
hadn't
in
done
myself
any acting?
at all.
Really?
Nothing.
Then you were natural, though, because...
Exactly.
Wow.
I mean, it was a great experience working with, because all the other 4 girls are professional actresses and they're amazing. So to have my first job be with 4 women and an amazing creator who they just know what they're doing, that was a complete blessing, yeah.
So at what point were you convinced, okay, I can do this?
Probably after we shot the whole season. Yeah, I mean, I was never convinced. I mean, I think as we moved along, I started feeling more comfortable. But I was nervous, you know, throughout the whole thing. Yeah, I'm still not convinced that. I can't believe I did it. Yeah, so, but it's great. It's been a great experience.
Oh, that's awesome. So finance background and just, this was your first acting gig?
First acting gig, yeah. But I think what made it a bit easier is that I could completely relate to the character. At that point, I had been back in Ghana for about 9 months.
Okay.
So everything that she was going through,
Yeah,
I was going through, light off, no water, you know. So it was easy to sort of jump into that person, being that I was going through the same things. Yeah.
Would you consider any part of it like extremely hard to do, or it just flowed like that?
I think maybe the hardest part is kissing people on screen. You know, and not for me, it was, you know, the men were cute, so it was easy. But I think I was thinking, oh, my mother is gonna be like, yeah, what's happening? But she's loved it.
She was
so
cool?
She's been
Oh,
cool.
really?
She's been so cool.
You've had aunties reach
Yes,
out to
I've
you,
had my
being like
aunt, I have
applauding you.
an aunt in Italy who called me, like, this is my aunt, my Ashanti aunt, who called me, and she was like, "Me who are you too?" I was like, yes. That means,
Oh, you too.
Oh, me who are you too? I was like, I made it. Done. Me who are you too?
How do you direct them?
Oh.
Or they just flow?
Okay, yeah, it can actually be a little uncomfortable on set, even for me.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
But it's fun, and we make it happen. We make it work. Yes, make it work. I think that the first time I ever watched a kissing scene, I was a little immature. I was really trying to hold back my laughter. I found it very funny, but you know, it's professional. We're professional. So.
How many times do you rehearse for the episode? What goes into that? Is there a rehearsal process?
Let me tell you. We actually, all together with cast and crew, I think we had 1 main reading.
Really?
And then between the 5 girls, we would rehearse, you know, as often as we could throughout the full week.
But the full cast, 1 main reading.
Yeah.
The way I see it, we're on budget. Every day. Every day is just, it's money. So let's get in front of the camera and do it. Let's get in front of the camera and do it. And they're natural. They
flow. They flow. Wow, it's quite impressive to know that this is your first gig.
Yeah.
Did you feel intimidated because you're doing it with professionals?
Definitely. I mean, I felt everything. Intimidated. Why am I here? Am I supposed to be here? Should I go get my little accounting thing and get back to that? But when I moved to Ghana, I had decided that I was going to find what I'm really passionate about. I'm just going to really jump into whatever moves me.
You are from Kumasi?
My parents are from Ashanti region. I know my background. I feel like you're questioning me about my background. So I know both my parents are from Ashanti. He's laughing. They're all laughing. He's laughing.
It's good to see the returnees.
Yeah. May Ghana.
That's right.
May Ghana.
Yeah, it's It's great.
Oh, that's good. So is it with? Are you done with finance, or you're still working with some banks and accounting?
For now,
things? No?
I feel like I'm done.
Yeah?
I feel like I'm done, and yeah, actually feel like I'm done. Yeah, I feel like that was just. Sometimes you just fall into things, and I feel like I just kind of fell into finance for 10 years, but it wasn't my passion. It was a job. You know, it was a job. So I feel like I'm finally living, and there's nothing better than that.
Did you always know you had a passion for the arts, or something that you discovered much later?
I had a creative passion. So back in Philadelphia, I would make furniture, which is very random.
Really?
But acting was never on my radar at all. So sometimes things just find you. You know, sometimes things that you're going to love find you. You don't know about them, but they just come to you. And I feel like this is what an African City has sort of pulled out for me, and it's great. It's amazing.
Beautiful. Where is African City going, man? I mean,
Yeah,
CBS, what do you call that? HBO.
Well, we're writing season 2 right now,
Yeah.
and we're talking to the various networks. So we'll know we'll know in a couple of weeks about what network we'll go with.
Wow.
But yeah, I want to do a few seasons and then eventually even see a movie.
Did you do some quick reading on writing scripts, or is this everything is just flowing naturally?
Yeah, it was so funny. I remember I had a professor at Georgetown who, when I told him my passion, and he was reading some of my scripts, but he was laughing because I was using Microsoft Word to write my scripts. And that's when he gave me a birthday present, which was the final draft.
Final draft, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I had to teach myself. I mean, that's what's so great about this day and age. There's Google. You can learn anything. There's a University of Google. Google it, you'll learn it.
Mommy?
Yes.
AJ?
Yes.
Kumasi girl?
Kumasi girl, yes. I still haven't been, but Kumasi girl.
Oh, you haven't been to Kumasi?
Deep in my heart. No, I haven't been yet.
Really?
Yeah. Bad.
Oh, Kumasi, they'll be upset too. They want their queen back.
Oh, don't be upset. My Kumasi people, I'll come.
Put your hands together for her, man. What else?
Do a scene in
That would be
Kumasi.
good.
We'll have to do a scene.
Yeah.
We'll have to shoot a scene.
Well, there's one more person we have to meet. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll meet the third person who's here with us, also from the African City. Stick around. We'll be right back.